Hello there. A warm welcome to you on joining this live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes, LM Gazao. Let me welcome the participants who have joined this session. Klaus Neo is the first one. He says, Hi, Sajid. RBK, whenever he joins the live chat, he asks about Injera. Have you tried Injera, Sajid? Yet I haven't, because it isn't available where I am. If it's spicy, no problem. We like spicy food, but it's not available where I am. Then we have in Adangbe, says Sajid's War. Esmiram Lagase says hello or hello. McConan Micha says great man. Thank you, McConan. Samia says hi, Sajid. Beatles 95 joined. Jumble 2 from Gondar. I remember Jumble Juar. Ablal Jibra, hi envoy from Horn of Africa. Thank you, Ablal Jibra. Tamasgan Denka says yes. Alam Gizao joined to Drum. Good evening from Greece. Welcome on joining from Greece. Drum Taya WG says hello. Galmu says hello. Takle Goitom. Beetle says, can you discuss if Eritrea will get roped into Yemen and US confrontation? Very interesting question. I'll respond to it. Isa Mick, Mesfin Zebene, Abegaz Amare. Have you visited Ethiopia? No, I haven't. Uh, Firstly, let me respond to the question from Beatles about uh, Eritrean entanglement in Yemen. I don't think, by the way, that Eritrea would like to be involved here. Red Sea security is not just Eritrean matter. It's a concern for other Red Sea countries, especially Arab countries who are major exporters of oil. So I don't think Eritrea will take a position here. And secondly, a 10-country alliance is patrolling the waters of Red Sea. I don't think Eritrea would like to confront this 10-country alliance. Yes, Eritrea, like other countries, Red Sea countries, obviously very concerned because of the new escalation in the Red Sea. Houthis are fighting. They are targeting commercial ships in drone strikes, very precise strikes. But I don't think any Red Sea country would like to be involved. Why? Because it seems that Red Sea has been taken over by West and US. 10 countries, UK, US, all are here. Their frigates, destroyers here. I don't think that any Red Sea country would try to take on these 10 countries. Red Sea countries should take a joint position. They should protect their waters. But they are not there. Why? Because some are key US allies like Saudi Arabia, Egypt too. Eritrea, I don't think it would like to be involved in the confrontation between Houthis and US. Eritrea does not stand anything to gain from this involvement, I think. Alim's comment, Alim says, Asmara survived this long by not getting too territorial over Red Sea. They only like to troll Ethiopians about it, not the international community. I largely agree with you. Yes, you're right that they cannot take on this 10-country force. They can only try to form a regional alliance with other Red Sea countries. So that they might do. But so far, their alliance was against Ethiopia. They were mobilizing Red Sea countries to take a position against Ethiopia. Now things changed. Oh, entire West US here. What will Eritrea do now? Maybe Eritrea is now faced with a bigger challenge now, but not just Eritrea, all Red Sea countries. And Red Sea countries maybe know that Western interests lie here in this shipping lane. So that is why West won't withdraw from here. They'll keep their deployments here, and Red Sea countries will have to accept this new reality, I think. You look handsome with or without shaving. Habtab, tis for Michael says. Thank you, Habtab. Happy holidays to your family, to you and your family. Ras one. Thank you, Ras. By the way, I'm not on holiday. I'm never on holiday, by the way, because uh, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, 65 days a year I work. I never take a day off, by the way. This work is everything for me. Now, I want to speak a little about UAE, which is under pressure now from the US. And secondly, yesterday a viewer commented about new US foreign policy about Eritrea. Not new, it was published in November. And he wanted me to comment on it. I read this foreign policy and I will speak a little on that too. Let me speak a little about US foreign policy about Eritrea. Last year, if you remember, I said that when I was having some discussion with Miss Irma here on some topics related to Eritrea, we did a video about post Isas Afwerki scenario. And I said in that discussion that US foreign policy about Eritrea is basically an admission of US failure or US inability to bring about change in Eritrea. That is why US was planning post Isas Afwerki scenario. That is why US was in talks with Eritrean opposition groups about post Isas Afwerki Eritrea. So planning post Isas Afwerki Eritrea means that US is not in a position to bring about any change in Eritrea as long as Isas Afwerki is in power. Firstly. Secondly, the US foreign policy released, the paper released in November, indicates that US wants to be engaged with Eritrea. It wants to engage Eritrea. It wants to offer aid to Eritrea. US aid has been expelled from Eritrea years ago. US aid was told to pack up and leave Eritrea. US wants to be relevant because US knows that Eritrea is a staunch supporter of New World Order, and US not able to remove Isas Afwerki. So US wants to engage. Does Eritrea want to engage? That is the important question. I don't think Eritrea will ever trust US, keeping in view US sanctions on Eritrea, keeping in view US support for EPRDF, keeping in view uh, the sanctions under which Eritrea suffered. So US will be mistrusted by Eritrea. Eritrea won't trust US no matter what US does. I don't think that US Eritrea relations are set to improve. Relations won't improve. Eritrea sees China and Russia as its allies. We could see more cooperation between Eritrea and Russia, Eritrea and China, but not between US and Eritrea. I think someone is asking about this meet. Is it your full-time job? Yes. I'll take your questions a little later. It's my full-time job, yes. If I'm making 3 videos a day, you can imagine how much time does it take to make the 3 videos. So I personally think that US foreign policy about Eritrea is that it should curtail Eritrean regional reach. Eritrea now has immense regional reach. It was in Ethiopia. It is now a key ally of Al Burhan. It's a key player in Sudan now. It is training Somalia's forces. So it has very good ties with Kenya. It has investments in South Sudan. So it means that Eritrea has regional reach. And if conflicts continue in the Horn of Africa, in East Africa, Eritrea will be able to intervene in these conflicts. These conflicts will make Eritrea stronger. And that is what US foreign policy, that the US should resolve conflicts in this region. Because if conflicts continue, conflicts will make Eritrea stronger. So people should give credit to Sahasevoki that US is working proactively to resolve conflicts in the Horn of Africa, because US does not want Sahasevoki to intervene to fuel more conflict. Firstly. Secondly, US has no penetration in Eritrea. US only has contacts with Eritrean opposition groups based abroad, based in US, Canada, Europe. These opposition groups have no penetration whatsoever in Eritrea. So basically, US has very limited option when it comes to handling Eritrean government, Eritrean Penisas and work. Beetle says, as long as we have this regime, Eritrea will never be open to have real diplomatic relationships with US, not with other countries, I think. Daniel Andarge, when will you take a break from Ethiopian terror news coverage and make news about the sad story of Afghans being deported from Pakistan? I don't. I know you're not interested in this developing about Afghans, but you want to divert me from covering Ethiopia. General Combs says your analysis is weak and inaccurate. US is not interested to talk to ISAS. No, I don't agree. US wants to engage ISAS. ISAS is not flexible. ISAS does not trust US, I think. Do you think Eritrea has a plan for post ISAS ever? No, no plan, I think. Maybe Abraham is being prepared by Isaias Afwerki's son. Otherwise, Eritrea does not have any legal mechanism about post Isaias Afwerki scenario. What will happen after Isaias Afwerki? Is there any constitutional provision which explains what will happen after Isaias Afwerki? No. If anyone knows about any constitutional legal provision, do let me know. I don't think there is anything which we know. It's actually amazing. I used to make a video for a big channel I had with millions of views. It's difficult to even upload 3 videos a week, let alone 3 times a day. Your commitment surprises me. Thank you. Name is in Amharic or Tigrinya. I think I cannot read. But I've been doing these videos for years now, and I don't worry about presentation. Don't worry about my background. I just focus on content. Don't worry about editing as well. So that is why my work is faster than other YouTubers, I think. And secondly, I do everything on my own. I don't rely on video editors or on professional people. I do everything myself. What is the UAE's long-term goal in East Africa? UAE wants to be here. UAE sees itself as a regional power. So it believes that it should be here in the Red Sea area. It should be a kingmaker here. It should be in a position to change governments. Should be in a position to be a regional power. These regional aspirations of the UAE brought it to the East Africa, I think. Secondly, one of the news stories from this live chat is about the UAE as well. UAE is intervening in Sudan. Everyone knows now, though it has, though I've been saying that, by the way, for months. Back then, Sudan military was silent. Sudan military knew, by the way, from day one that the UAE was supporting rapid support forces. Now, Sudan military is calling UAE a mafia, and pressure is now growing on the UAE to stop support for the rapid support forces. US lawmakers are speaking now. Several have issued statements asking Joe Biden's government to send a strong message to the UAE to stop UAE from supporting rapid support forces. So maybe in coming weeks, UAE might stop supporting RSF overtly. Covert support might continue. And that is, I think, Ethiopia is going to be very crucial. Ethiopian role in Sudan is going to be crucial in coming months and weeks, we can say. Why? Because the way US pressure is growing on the UAE will stop supporting RSF publicly. But UAE will continue its support for RSF through other channels. I think that ideal uh, proxy for UAE is Ethiopia, keeping in view close RB MBZ ties. And that is why maybe dozens of flights arrived in Ethiopia in November carrying military logistics at Harar Mad Airport. I think UAE now will continue support for rapid support forces discreetly, maybe through Ethiopia. But the way US lawmakers are asking Joe Biden government to take a strong position, I think we could see some changes. UAE denies involvement in Sudan. Everyone knows that UAE is here. UAE weapons are being used, and that is why maybe rapid support forces are just sweeping across Sudan. Darfur, now Al Jazeera state, they're moving towards Gidarf, towards Ethiopia. But once they connect with Ethiopia, it will be easy for RSF to get support, logistical support, weapons, etc., from UAE through Ethiopia. UAE is expanding its ambition. It will be its political fatal, and I don't think that the impact of UAE's involvement in neighboring countries will be felt in the UAE. The country is not a democracy, by the way. It's a kingdom, and whatever these Arab leaders do, no change happens in their countries. In most cases, in most cases. So I don't think that UAE's foreign policy will have any impact on Mohammed Zayed's future. Arabs are living good lives, lives in terms of uh, they have these rulers have resources to feed their people, and the people don't worry about democracy in their countries. They're living lavish lives in some cases. That is why I don't think that any indigenous change or impact on Mohammed bin Zayed is expected because of UAE's involvement in the Horn of Africa, East Africa. DW Ethiopia, what do you think is the more likely possibility? Reunification with with Eritrea or balkanization of Ethiopia? Both are not possibilities, I think. Ethiopia won't split. Ethiopia won't reunite with Eritrea. Eritreans are very sensitive about their independence. They don't want to be part of Ethiopia. This is Ethiopian dream, by the way. Nostalgic Ethiopians, some of them, they want to have the same Ethiopia again with Eritrea as its part. It won't happen because Eritreans are very sensitive about their independence. As regards the other scenario, that Balkanization of Ethiopia. When war was ongoing, I remember I did some videos in 2021 when war as was at its peak. And back then I said that no fragmentation of Ethiopia was likely. You saw that lots of things happened in the last 2 years, but no fragmentation. Rather, those groups which wanted splits, they became weak. Some groups in Tigray wanted a separate Tigray country, but now they are nowhere to be seen. Ola is in support of self-determination too, but Ola is still there where it was years ago. Fano is a new phenomenon, but Fano fighters don't want a big change in terms of creation of a new regional, new country. Amhara, they're not fighting for Amhara country. They want realignment of people in power in Addis Ababa. They want to be in control in Addis Ababa in alliance with other groups. So I don't think that Ethiopia is going to disintegrate. Alam says that nostalgia is a hindrance to Fano getting allies. Abdi Fatah, Abi wants to be friends with US, Russia, and China, but Abi lost both sides. I don't know what are Abi's priorities. It's difficult for Ethiopia to be neutral. Ethiopia will have to take sides. It will have to be part of Russian camp, Chinese camp, or US and Western camps too. Ethiopia cannot be on good terms with all the parties. It will have to choose sides, I think. But its foreign policy is very obscure when it comes to handling its relation with big powers. Yodis says, what does UAE want to gain in East Africa? Political, economical, other, etc. Lots of things. I spoke a little about that. UAE has just regional ambitions. UAE obviously is investing too in this region. UAE is building ports. DP World is one of the biggest port building companies. UAE is leasing lands. UAE wants to have lands on lease to grow food for its people. And UAE is supplying weapons, selling weapons. Selling weapons is a business too. So UAE is earning, benefiting from its interventions in this region. Of course, weapons are not coming for free. What Ethiopia is getting from UAE, it's not for free. Did everyone from the African Development Bank leave? I don't know. I think they announced their withdrawal. They did not give a timeline. We don't know when withdrawal will complete, but they have announced to withdraw. Morla funny videos. Ethiopia already choose sides. It joined the BRICS. What you say on that? Well, Ethiopia joined BRICS and Ethiopia is in talks with IMF, World Bank for 7 billion US dollars. How to reconcile these two things? That is why I say Ethiopian foreign policy is very obscure. Ethiopia, maybe Ethiopian diplomats need to revisit their foreign policy while hoping to be a BRICS member, while hoping to be a key Russian defense ally. You cannot get 7 billion US dollars from IMF and World Bank, which are both basically Western financial organizations. Does Ethiopia have Su-25? Ethiopia does have Su. I don't know about this model, Su-25, but Ethiopia does have Sus and MiGs, I think. But I'll have to recheck which type of Su does Ethiopia have. Thank you, Daniel Amde, for this contribution. He says, hi, Sajid. Hi, Daniel. Samuel just joined. Samuel, greetings. Thank you, Samuel. RBK, Sajid, it seems like you're skipping over my questions. What are your questions apart from Injera? You mainly talk about Injera. AZ King has joined, says hello. Hello, AZ King. How are you? Beetle says, I wonder if Eritrean media is even talking about what is happening in Red Sea. It's a dangerous situation. Where is the Eritrean media, by the way? Eritrea only has one TV channel, one radio station, one newspaper, all owned by the government. But I agree, what is happening in the Red Sea is alarming. Thank you, AZ King, for this contribution. I agree that what is happening in the Red Sea could have far-reaching consequences, but Eritrea alone cannot do anything. And can Eritrea find allies to confront the Westerners who are here in charge of Red Sea waters? I don't think any Red Sea country is going to take on Western US. But interestingly, if US and West want to protect the commercial shipping route through Gulf of Aden, why is that China and Russia are not involved here? Obviously, they have economic interests here. I would say that maybe Eritrea, Red Sea countries, they should uh, engage Russia and China. That Russia and China should also have their presence in Red Sea countries close to Gulf of Aden. That is how you could see some sort of balance there. Otherwise, this zone is coming under Western and US control. I think. Rogue travel, the former state of Ethiopia. I kept on hearing this term, former state of Ethiopia, in the 2 year long war. David says, I hate you, Sajid. I love you, David. I don't know who you are, by the way. I don't hate anyone. People criticize me all day. I don't hate anyone. RBK, do you think that if forced, Eritrea will have to confront the Houthis in the name of protecting their waters? It would be a mistake to confront Houthis now. Why would Eritrea confront Houthis now at this point of time? Why? Why would Eritrea like to be involved in this conflict? Yemen is a big conflict still unresolved. There, a Saudi-led coalition intervened. UAE intervened as well. Why should Eritrea involve itself in the mess which Yemen is in? I don't think SAS would be that naive, that foolish rather, to be uh, involved in the conflict between Yemen and US or internal conflict in Yemen directly. Baka Garbi, hi Sajid, do you think Western powers are more interested in Ethiopian conflict than Sudan war? Let's talk about US. US wants to be relevant. As I said earlier, US wants to resolve conflicts in the Horn of Africa. Why? To curtail Eritrean influence. US wants to be relevant in Ethiopia. US wants to be relevant in Sudan too, but in Sudan there are several players. In Sudan there is Russia too. In Sudan there is Arab world too. In Sudan, there are neighboring countries' intervention too. So US alone is not the major player in Sudan. But in Ethiopia, US is a major player. Why? Because Ethiopia is the because US intervened, it mediated between TPLF and Ethiopian government last year. It is mediating between all and Ethiopian government. Here, US is perhaps a more influential player in Ethiopia than the US is in Sudan. In Sudan, US alone cannot do anything. US Saudi Arabia led talks in Jeddah could not succeed. IGAD is intervening too. Egypt held some meetings too. Eritrea as well, a player too. US alone cannot bring about any big change in Sudan. So I think US is more influence in Ethiopia than in Sudan, I think. Is it true that UAE's ambassador have been expelled from it? I don't know. I don't know. But UAE, Sudan has expelled some UAE's diplomats. UAE did the same too. And UAE and Sudan's military on good terms with Eritrea too. But I have no information about expelling of UAE diplomats from Eritrea. Any big predictions for Eritrea in 2024? Will we see removal of ISAS? Who will remove ISAS? Who will remove ISAS? Do you see any force in Eritrea which can remove ISAS? No. Do you see any regional threat to ISAS or no? Do you see any global alliance or global move to remove ISAS? No. Basically, I don't see any change in Eritrea in 2024. Though things happen very rapidly. No one could have imagined in 2022 that Sudan would be again on the verge of splitting, on the verge of coming under rapid support forces. Anything can happen, but so far, keeping in view the current situation, I don't think that there's going to be big change in Eritrea in 2024. But I was hoping, by the way, that after Pretoria deal, maybe Sasavaki would introduce reforms and Eritrean youths will take a sigh of relief. Maybe conscription, indefinite national service will be relaxed. It has not happened. Why? It may be for different reasons, and maybe PM Abiy's narrative about the access to the Red Sea is going to keep Eritrea insecure. The way PM Abiy's government is piling up weapons, buying modern drones, I don't think Eritrea would relax its indefinite national service and conscription. So focus of Sasavaki will be on security. Though I think he made some moves to shift his attention towards the economy after Pretoria. He visited China, then Russia. But PM Abiy's new position about the Red Sea is going to make Eritrea insecure. Alim says the House committee you mentioned on foreign relations was also critical of the UAE. I remember watching that. Yeah, That is why I say that UAE might stop supporting RSF publicly. Then Ethiopia will come into play. UAE will try to use Ethiopia to maintain its influence in Sudan. Ilyas, Likias, Hi Sajid, can Ethiopia become united and stronger? Why can't Ethiopia become united and stronger? What is needed is uh, openness, transparency, democracy, people's participation. Obviously, Ethiopians have potential, they have resources, they can be more united. Do you watch Ethio Forum? Yuri Yezer says. I don't watch any Ethiopian news outlets. Why? Because I don't know the local language. I don't have any people who translate content of other YouTube channels, etc. for me. I don't know what they are reporting, by the way. Sometimes viewers contact me. They say, Sajid, Ethio 360, Ethio Forum reported this and that. I never follow their reporting because I don't know the local languages. Perhaps that is why my reporting is different from their reporting, and my understanding of the situation in Eritrea, Ethiopia is different because I don't follow them. And some of the people tell me that my reporting in some cases is copied by them. Don't care. In some cases, we might think uh, the same on some issues. So I don't know what others are doing, by the way. I only stay in touch with you, viewers. So my asset is my viewership. They brief me, they help me understand, they guide me. I learn from you. I don't learn from any other Ethiopian, Eritrean news source or journalist or writer or actress. You speak Urdu? Yes, I do, DW. Well, in almost every live chat session, we hear the mention of Yugoslavia. People say that Ethiopia is going to disintegrate. Yugoslavia like scenario is on the cards. I strongly disagree with this analysis. Sometimes we analyze through our wishes, but when it comes to analyzing developments, we should be impartial. Because if we're not impartial, we will deceive ourselves by reaching wrong conclusions. We should keep our loyalties, sensitivities aside and then analyze the situation. Beatles says Ethiopia breaking apart would be a disaster for everyone. Ethiopia cannot split. If it splits, it won't split in just two. The split will continue. It will go beyond Ethiopia. It will have regional shock waves. No one in East Africa, no one international community is in support of disintegration of Ethiopia. Yuri Yezer, what is the most trusted news source? I don't know. I don't want to blame others. I don't want to accuse others. Since I don't follow them, so I don't know what the quality of their reporting is. Did you see the new US Eritrea rapprochement? US changed its stance on Eritrea. It's in their country strategy paper on Eritrea. Yes, I mentioned that a few minutes ago, but still, I don't think Eritrea would trust US. I don't see any strong Eritrea US relation because Eritrea knows that US tried to bring about change in Eritrea. US tried its best to impose sanctions on Eritrea, to force Eritrea. US is backing Eritrean opposition groups as well. US is not reliable for Eritrea. There could be small scale engagement, but Eritrea won't form any strategic partnership with the US, I think. Gilana says, once upon a time, Pakistan was part of India. Yes, and if today you suggest that Pakistan should rejoin India, what would be the reaction? No one is going to accept it, especially in Pakistan. They cannot even think about rejoining India. Same is the case to some extent about Ethiopia Eritrea split. Eritreans don't want to join Ethiopia. Pakistanis don't want to join India. Indians could be nostalgic. They maybe want to see the same India again, like Ethiopians want to see the same Ethiopia again. But Pakistanis don't want to be part of India again, like Eritreans don't want to be part of Ethiopia again. Beatles truly Eritrea needs transparency, democracy, and accountability. Yes, everyone knows that, but who will introduce transparency, accountability, and democracy in Eritrea? Sajid, is the TPLF not serving American interest anymore? Is that why the US changed its strategy report on Eritrea? Eritrean Post. Eritrean Post, yeah. Now, TPLF is not a major player in the Horn of Africa. Even in Ethiopia, TPLF is not a big player now. So US knows pretty well now that it cannot just rely on TPLF. It needs new allies in Ethiopia, in neighboring countries too. Gilana says how Houthi fighters' strength is backed by Iran. Houthis are they are backing from Iran, and the war in Yemen is basically war between Iran and Saudis. To some extent, same scenario in Syria too. To some extent, Eritrean Eritrea, Pearl of Red Sea says, Sajid, Eritrea did not split from Ethiopia, it was annexed. There is a difference between these two words. Okay, I read your comment. I wonder that you don't see the coming implosion of Ethiopia. Ethiopians do not have common understanding on history, flag, etc. I know I have covered almost all these issues. But still, I believe that Ethiopia isn't going to split. Why? Because there are some institutions which are binding Ethiopia together, whether by force or by other means. These institutions will keep Ethiopia together. One of the institutions is Ethiopian National Defense Force, stronger now, more equipped. Ruling party, Prosperity Party, which is obviously a true democratic entity. It is not giving room to opposition parties and the institutions too. Uh, these are keeping Ethiopia together. Ethiopia is not a failed state. Even Somalia could not split. You saw that one third of Somalia came under Al Shabaab. Still, Somalia is one country. Somaliland, Somalia issue is a different issue. Al Shabaab took one third of Somalia. Serious issues between regional states and federal government, but still, Somalia is one country. Do you think that Ethiopia is worse than Somalia in terms of unity? I don't see Ethiopia split by now. Abdul Salim Ibrahim is asking someone's name. Sintaccio, is there any common interest between the UAE and Ethiopia? Is it true communication? What about Ethiopian dam? UAE has some issues with it. I think I responded to this question 2 days ago too. I did a video on UAE's interests in the Horn of Africa, in East Africa. You can watch that video. I did it 2 days ago, I think. A 13-minute long video about UAE's plan about Ethiopia and Eritrea. What does UAE want in this region? What are its interests here? Why is that UAE and Ethiopia are close? What is your opinion on Imran Khan politics? Are you in his supporter or opposer? Uh, well, Imran Khan is facing repression. In Pakistan, I've been frankly sharing my views with you. There is no democracy in Pakistan, no true democracy. Military in power in this country directly or indirectly since its creation in 1947. The military has been backing the formation of political parties. Military has been sending prime ministers into exile. Military rule directly as well. Imran Khan had backing of military when he came to power, and he made some grave mistakes while he was in power. He tried to crush opposition. He relied on military support. And when he tried to take foreign policy in his hands, military removed him. Military won't allow him to come. Military wants him to submit. He's not submitting. He is hoping that he'll get public support to be back in power. We don't know what is going to happen. But what Imran is suffering in Pakistan is not new. Politicians are suffering in Pakistan. Most of them are at the payroll of military. Military is where true power lies in Pakistan. So it's a pathetic situation in Pakistan that there is no future for the people living. And we are seeing a brain drain here. People fleeing the countries. They say that there is no rule of law in the country. So that is how I see the situation in Pakistan. Why do US kneel down on dictator Isaias? What should US do, by the way? US cannot remove Isaias Afwerki. US tried its best. Now US needs to come up with a new foreign policy. And you never know about real foreign policy. Maybe the real foreign policy is different from this paper. I heard that Saudis might purchase a nuclear weapon from Pakistan if Iran gets one. Well, nuclear weapons are not purchased. Purchasing is not a solution. If a country purchases a nuclear weapon, it does not mean it can use nuclear weapon as well. Making the bomb is a long struggle. And when Pakistan made the bomb, I think that US supported Pakistan. Why? Because back then US needed Pakistan. US used Pakistan against Russia. Russians had invaded Afghanistan. And US fought a proxy war through Pakistan against Russia and Afghanistan. So in that support, in that alliance between US and Pakistan against Russia, Pakistan took advantage and made the bomb. Transfer of bomb from Pakistan to any country is not possible, by the way. No one is going to allow that. And secondly, Saudis are not known for having the capabilities to handle this type of bomb, I think. They are relying on other countries to survive. Even for the defense, they rely on other countries. So I don't think this transfer is a real possibility. 53 minutes have passed since we started this live chat session. I think we should end the live chat. It was good to be with you once again. Today, I took almost all the questions which were raised by people, and I saw several viewers interacting too in the live chat section. I don't mind. In fact, it's good to see people interacting here. People talk to each other, they talk to me, they comment, they raise questions, they question my talk too. That is the beauty of this live chat. Thank you for joining. I'll be back with the next live chat session tomorrow at the same time. And then again with some new stories about Ethiopia and Eritrea. Purpose of making the videos about Ethiopia and Eritrea is that we should be able to understand what is happening in these countries without any bias, any partiality, which is going to make us perhaps well acquainted the with on the ground situation in these two countries. I hope that there is improvement for the people of Eritrea. They're suffering. I hope there's improvement for the people of Ethiopia. They're suffering as well. In different ways, these two countries, people are suffering. Let's hope 2024 uh, turns out to be a better year for these two countries. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.